Hi everybody, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by at my channel. Let us reason together. Introduction. I'd like to continue about the tribulation period. The last time I was talking about, I think I finished with Egypt and Russia in the tribulation. I'd like now to talk about the program of Antichrist. So let's go back, let's continue to Revelation, okay? The scripture often divided the 7 years, I think, 7 years of the tribulation into two equal parts, okay? The less of Daniel's 70 weeks of 7 years is divided in the middle by a significant event. You can read it in Daniel 9:27. In Revelation, the two halves of the tribulations are designated either by time and times and a half. Okay, so in Revelation 12:14, or you want to say it and make it easier, 42 months. Okay, you can read it also in Revelation 11:2 and 13:5, or if you want to go in days, 1,260 days. You can read it in 11, 13, and 12:6. Okay. Each of which works out to 3.5 years. Okay, so here 3.5, 7 years. Okay, with the invasion of Palestine from the north by Gog and Magog, I had it before, it may seem for a time that the plans of the man of sin, the Antichrist, are almost crushed. But supernatural intervention by God and the destruction of the Russian hordes will clear the way for the beast to resume his scheming. So here we're talking about the program of the Antichrist, okay? We're talking about, you ever heard about the saying of the two witnesses? First, Antichrist must eliminate opposition from two individuals. In Revelation 11:3 till 13, who have been plagued them. Okay, the killing of these two witnesses will be the beast's first great feat at the middle of the tribulation period. Okay, the two witnesses will have the spectacular ministry during the first part of the tribulation. They will have power to kill their enemies with what? With fire, to prevent rain, to turn water into blood, and to bring plagues on the earth as often as they wish. Wow, can you imagine what the power they have? Their frequent use, okay, of those powers will add to the general devastating. You know what I'm talking about? God poured out his wrath on the earth. Think, for instance, what will happen when they use their power to prevent rain. Nothing will grow, of course, you see. Famine. Along with the climatic and topographical changes that will occur on the earth, you cannot imagine the disaster of the results. It's so bad. So I told you it's going to be a bad time. Although the witnesses will be invisible for 3.5 years, God will permit the beast to kill them after they have finished their works. And you can read it in Revelation 11:17. Making martyrs of the witness will win Antichrist wide support among the people of the world. But he will not be satisfied with merely killing them. I'm talking about the believers. He will display their bodies in the street of Jerusalem. People seeing the witnesses dead will rejoice that they will no longer have to hear their warnings. So you can imagine those witnesses over there, what they think the power God has given him as a witness to warn people to turn to God, and they still refuse. And here, the Antichrist first, he has to deal with Gog and Magog, and now he had opportunity to kill those two witnesses, okay? Merely to look on the decaying bodies of those two men will not satisfy people. They will make a great holiday of the occasion and will send gifts to each other. Interestingly enough, this is the only occasion during the entire tribulation period in which rejoicing is mentioned. Think about it. That's the only time they were happy, the people. People will be so overjoyed that the witnesses are dead that this will be a happy holiday for them. Wow. Like right now we have many holidays. People are happy, rejoicing. They don't even, don't even work. But this is one in the tribulation period, okay, that they finally have found something to rejoice and to be happy about. Those two people, those witnesses, are being killed by the Antichrist. If they had believed the witnesses' preaching, their death would have been a sad occasion instead of a holiday. Okay? They don't believe him, so. But God will intervene. After 3.5 days, the bodies of those two witnesses will be resurrected and translated into heaven in a cloud of glory. Imagine the scene. Long lines will be waiting to view the corpses. Perhaps television camera will focus on them at the very moment of their resurrection. People in Europe and America will be watching via what? Satellite transmission? The calm, matter-of-fact announcing will suddenly become nearly hysterical as he sees a resurrection in process and realize that millions of people are depending on him for an explanation. Here he's talking about, okay, the pen with the camera, probably things like it. How they pick it up on television and things like it. What can he tell them? They're all in shock. How will the interpreters of the news manage this one? Even the voice from heaven, verse 12, will be heard in millions of homes. Can you imagine that? They even hear the voice of God? And they still don't believe. But even before the newspaper can report the story of the commentators, okay, write their analysis, there will be another great event for them to cover. An earthquake that will center in Jerusalem and that will destroy a tenth part of the city, killing 7,000 people. All those things in one shot. Can you imagine that? Here we have big news when we have, a killer going out, a kill of 5, 6, maybe 12 people, something like that. But here, they will see the two guys being raised up and going to heaven, the voice, then the earthquake, and then that will kill also 7,000 people, and just like that. Wow. At this time, apparently, okay, the 144,000 witnesses in Revelation, from Revelation 7, will also be killed. And the beast will destroy the ecumenical church, you read it in 1716, to clear away opposition to his next great act. Okay? Then, of course, when it's all gone, what did he do? He demanded what? Worship. Having rid himself of all the religious opposition, the beast will issue an edict. Worship me. To enforce his command, he will have to break his treaty with the Jews, which allowed them to restore Jewish worship in their rebuilt temple at Jerusalem. This he will do in Daniel 9:27, demanding that he be the object of all worship You can double check at Matthew 24:15 and 2 Thessalonians 2:4. How will he accomplish this? First of all, he will have a superhuman help. Satan, we are told, will give him his power and throne and great authority. You can read it in Revelation 13:2. What I'm saying over here according to the scriptures is this: the Antichrist receive, so to speak, Satan. Satan will completely possess him, so to speak. Okay, but Satan will give his power to him, so he can rule the world. So the devil will work furious from this point on to do everything in his power to thwart God's plan. He will make war with Michael and his angel and lose. You know the story, right? This will result in his being cast out of heaven. Remember? Then God will warn the inhabitants on the earth. Woe! Because the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, knowing that he has only a short time. You can read it in 12:12. The power of Satan will be behind the acts of the beast, the Antichrist, and he will use him to the full. Wow. Can you imagine that? Another reason for the beast's greatness involved his being wounded unto death. The beast was wounded unto death. Get this. His deadly wound will be healed in Revelation 13:5. So that all the world will wonder. Wow. The phrase wounded to death literally means as having been slain to death. And it is actually in the same phrase is used in 5:7. Is referring to the death of Christ. Since Christ actually died, perhaps the beast also will actually die and then be restored to life. Wow. He is set to rise out of the abyss. You read it in Revelation 11:7. Which seems to confirm the idea that he experienced a resurrection. If not, the text at least means he will have some kind of a spectacular restoration, so that the world will wonder after him. His miraculous resurrection or restoration will make all men acknowledge his uniqueness, who is like the beast, and his might, who is able to wage war with him. 13:4. So here, just picture that, the Antichrist, somehow he gets wounded or maybe even killed. He came back to life, okay, and now the people are worshiping him, of course, because it says, who is like the beast, who is able to wage war with him. They are so impressed. The beast program will include blasphemy and war. You can read it in Revelation 13:5-7. He will speak insolently against God, Daniel 7:25. Object of this blasphemy will include the name of God, the dwelling place of God, and those who dwell in heaven. So he cursed them all. He will be allowed, okay, notice that God is still in control, remember now. He will be allowed to make war with the believers, Revelation 12:17, and to kill them. But his power will be limited by God to 42 months, the last 3.5 years. Here's an example of the interweaving of the many forces behind events. God will control all, but Satan will empower the beast, who in turn will act on his own in blaspheming God. Men who join his army and fight for him will do so voluntarily. And they in turn will make martyrs of God's people, who, though they are killed, will still be within God's protecting grace. For we cannot comprehend, folks, I cannot, the bad things will happen on the earth. What happened to believers, what happened to the unbelievers, what happened to the earth with earthquake, no rain and things like it. So we cannot comprehend that. Famine and constantly war. In order to promote his program more efficiency, the Antichrist will have an important lieutenant. He is the second beast, Revelation 13, 11 till 18. So you have to understand what the scripture has to say, about the end time. And his sole duty is to promote the purposes and expedite to worship of the first beast, the man of sin. At no time in his career, talking about the lieutenant, does the second beast promote himself. But his concerns are always centered in the first beast. His power will be as great as that of the man of sin, but he will use it in the interest of his superior, not for himself. You can read it in verse 12. So you can imagine this person, almost the same power, as his boss, so to speak, but yet all he does is only promoting who the Antichrist is and how they better worship him. This lieutenant will be able to make fire come down from heaven. Fire come down on earth, duplicating the power of the two witnesses in order to show the world that he is as great as they were. Wow, verse 13. He will be able to work other miracles. Think about it. How bad it really is. They imitate even the power of those two witnesses to some degree, You can read it in verse 13 and 14. He will order men to make an image of the first beast, for verse 14. And apparently, they will do it willingly and quickly. His next step will be giving life to the image they have made. The word for breath, in verse 15, pneuma, and this could indicate a supernatural miracle, empowered, of course, by Satan, that will actually give life to the image. Of course, the word may be translated wind, which may indicate some magical sleight of hand or the part of the lieutenant to give the image the appearance of real life. The speech and movement of an image could easily be artificially, but they could with equal ease by the work of Satan. So here, like a magician do certain things, certain movement, and people say, wow, so not like an illusion. But you see here, the enemy, Satan, does those certain things, and people, of course, they don't know the difference. Now you're talking about controlling the commerce, However, the greatest feast of the second beast, who is sometimes called the false prophet in Revelation 16, 13, and 19, 20, and 2010, will be squeezed, will be a squeeze play on men to force them to worship the man of sin. It will be a simple scheme, cleverly devised, and he causes all, the small and the great and the rich and the poor, the free and the slave, to give a mark on the right hand or on the forehead and be provided that no one could be able to buy or sell except the one who has the mark, either the name of the beast or the number of his name. You can read it in Revelation 13, 16, and 17. In other words, bow or star. Wow. A mark is an impression made by a stamp, such as brand, okay, by the slaves of animals. Men will become slaves, okay. And so perhaps timid slave will make the mark placed on the right hand. To avoid embarrassment, they might try to avoid shaking hands with people in order to conceal the mark. Those things can happen. Bold followers of the Antichrist may have the mark placed in the middle of the forehead, just to show off. What will this mark? Verse 17 indicates that it will be either the name of the beast or his number, and the number is further explained as 666. The number of the man's of sin, not of the lieutenant. Remember, there's two different people there now. This number has been linked to so many personages, okay, as to make them all unreliable coincidences. People think, well, maybe this person, they even right now many times they already wrote books about who they think who's the Antichrist, but they're all wrong, okay, so far. So this will be a grim time in the history of the world. I suppose that the Antichrist would succeed completely in bringing the entire world to his feet, were it not for the presence of his godly remnant, who will refuse to bow, and for the shortness of the time available to him. Here, what he's saying is this: many people will do it because they'd rather eat or die, okay? But there are still certain people who will believe in God. And so I'd like to stop over here and let it sink in what's going to happen in the tribulation period, okay? When the Antichrist, the next, what they call the Great Tribulation, because the first 3.5 years, remember in the beginning, he made a covenant with Israel. Then, after he killed the two witnesses and things like it, and get other certain things out of the way, he will sit on the throne, or, in the temple, so to speak, okay? And claim that he is God. Be a shock to the Jews, but that's happening. So I'll stop over here. Think about it. Think how like I said, we cannot comprehend how bad it is. The whole world is in turmoil. God is still showing some way, somehow, his grace, because people are still believing, because they don't want to follow the Antichrist. So if you don't want to follow, he will kill you. So they have to hide and things like it, but the Antichrist will go after you. So like it says over here, you don't have the mark of the beast, you cannot buy food. So what you going to do? We'll go, okay, and here God is still in control, and what he'll do, he will pour more wrath on the earth. Okay, like a bowl, the bowl judgment, the trumpet and the bowl judgment. I'll do it next time. So, thank you for stopping by. If you got anything out of my video, please give me the thumb up. And if you want to subscribe, just ring the notification bell, okay? And I will say then, until next time, God bless you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye now.